Welcome, Walnut. I'm Lara, but you can call me Laz, your host for Walnut Wednesday. This is your reminder to be brave, be yourself, and know that you can make the world a better place just by what you decide today. Here, I'm going to share my weekly walnuttings with you on a Wednesday. Good morning, Walnut. I was thinking if you're listening to this in the afternoon, good day. Walnut, hello, it's me, Laz, your host for Walnut Wednesday, and this week is so exciting and special because I have a dear friend all the way from high school back in the day, Kat, visiting us to tell us all about her life and things. Welcome, Kat! Yay!
Thank you. Good to be here.
I am so excited about this, Walnut. So lots of interesting things have happened and are to come, but Kat and I were just sort of like reminiscing offline. Actually, we didn't come to a mathematical number, but it has been many, many years since we've like talked in real life, but it does actually feel
Yeah,
like it's just like yesterday, really.
it does. It does. It's so nice.
So, Kat, I will get you to please introduce yourself to the Walnuts who have not met you before, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, cool. I always find this question super intimidating because it's
Yeah.
like, what do people care about? But I'll roll with it. So I'm Kat, and I'm a dog mum. Anyone watching the video will be able to see my cute dog in the back. I'm a small business owner, newly, and I'm a huge mental health advocate, having personally struggled with anxiety and depression over the last few years and learned a lot about myself and what the impact that it has on people's lives. I'm super passionate about helping people and helping people understand themselves a bit better.
Yeah. That's so lovely. You did amazing. I always find that asking walnuts to introduce themselves is kind of like a little act of brave in itself because I always find even in group situations like
Yeah.
work or something, it's like go round in a circle and I'm just like literally dying until it gets to me.
Yeah.
I have to say something
I
about
know you're
myself.
rehearsing it in your head over and over again. Like, do I sound dumb? Like, what are people going to think of me?
Yeah.
It's so silly because people don't even really care. Well, they do care, but they don't judge you.
Well, they're probably sitting there thinking, what am
Yeah,
I
the
going to say
same
about
thing.
themselves, you know?
I
So,
know. It just shows how much and how in our heads we are
yeah,
all
it
the
does.
time. Mm.
It's such a, I said to one of my friends a very, very long time ago, like your mind is a very, very scary place. If you're not in the right headspace with it, you know. So I'm sure we will get into that. But oh, welcome. I'm so looking forward to asking you all these sort of questions. So let's start at the beginning, Kat. So you've mentioned small business owner, and I know that's no easy feat, and I would really love to ask how you got from A to B. But let's kind of start at the beginning because I know that things weren't necessarily easy. Um, what what were you doing prior and sort of what led you to be like, throwing in the towel? I'm doing this on my own, bitches. Like, how did we get there?
Yeah, well, if I start right from the beginning when I left Kapiti, which was, oh gosh, like when I was 17, I left Kapiti. So
Oh,
that's
was
how
that?
long, yes. So I always had this dream that I wanted to chase big things and do a big fancy marketing job. And obviously, New Zealand is small. And so, really, the only place that you can do that is Auckland. So, I found myself up in Auckland, just trying to find, well, my goal was to get into a fashion marketing role. And I managed that and sort of started at the bottom, started working my way up. And that was my only goal. And my focus was just like climb that corporate ladder, get into a better position, a better job title, more money. Um, and I set myself some massive financial goals back then because those were the only goals that I could kind of see in my head. I was like,
Yeah.
buy a house, be financially free, all that sort of stuff, um, before really knowing myself. And so going back a few years, I did manage to buy a house with my now ex-partner. Um, but that I guess was the start of the snowball.
Yeah.
So I had a change in my work circumstance. It wasn't necessarily a bad change, it was just a change where they said, look, we really want to move you into this role. It was actually a more important role, but it was away from the
Mm.
division I was working in and working with a brand that wasn't so close to me and with my colleagues and my team who I really loved. So I guess that was kind of the first like ping. But before that, I was already trying to buy my ex-partner out of a house I was moving into this house with my now wonderful partner. Um, and I just had change after change after change after change. And my body was trying to secretly tell me these things, but I was just pushing the symptoms aside, like waking up with like a racing heart every day and just I'd get home and I'd just fall asleep on the couch. And it was just my body was in fight or flight and I was just ignoring it.
Yeah.
So I took a bit of time off to kind of try and reset. And then I did the whole, no, you can do it, like stop being pathetic. You can, like, I was really harsh on myself. Went back into the job, the new role, started the new role. And ultimately, my body was just like, no. And I started having panic attacks in the office, which I've never had before. Like, just my body was screaming at me to stop. And my boss ended up saying to me, look, like, is this right for you? And I had to really take a hard look at myself and be like, actually, no. And then as soon as I stood back from that and I stopped work pretty much, my body just completely broke. And I sunk into this, I guess, deep depression where I was like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I can't even uphold a job. And I was being so mean to myself. And my therapist was great throughout all of this, but that was the first time I'd ever experienced what depression feels like because anxiety is quite different in that it's like you do things, but you feel this constant fear. But depression is more like this numb feeling where you're like, and sorry, I get a bit teary, like it's reflecting, um, but it's more like you don't see the potential in yourself and it's a really really sad looking back at it, but when you're in it it's shit, it's just the absolute pits. So
Yeah.
I guess throughout that I spent a lot of time with Vienna, my rescue pup. We just spent like hours in nature. Like I live in Titirangi, West Auckland, which is surrounded by bush. I can literally see tuis dancing in the tree outside my window, so it's beautiful. And I just forced myself to see the small, beautiful things. Even if I didn't think they were beautiful at the time, I knew that Kat thought they were beautiful deep down.
Yeah.
So I forced the sunrises, the sunsets, the nature. And while I was spending lots of time with Vienna, I was like, actually, I really love dogs and I'd love to solve this problem for my own dog. I could never find a collar that ticked all my boxes. And so that became my passion project. And it was never going to be a business, it was going to be solving a problem for my own dog.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember the day I was in a therapy session, and my therapist goes, that's the first time I've seen you light up in so long. Like, even in your last job, when you talked about it, I never saw your face like light up when you talked about it. So that was really cool just to hear her say that. And then I, through developing it, was like, if I have this problem, other people might have it too. And dog parents are a special kind of community. They love their pups, as you know, with your firstborn. You
Yes.
love Kevin deeply. So, yeah, it just kind of grew organically from there as a way to focus all my energy on to get myself through a really rough period of my life.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. I wanted to go back and just touch on like how hard it is, like even you mentioned the work being like, are you sure this is the right fit? You like I just felt that. Like, it's such a a smack in the face when it's like other people are also realizing that you're kind of not failing, but there's
You're
something
not in
wrong.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
They can see it as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it wasn't that I didn't like my job, my team. I still catch up with my team regularly. Like they're some of my best friends, and I love the business. It was just my heart wanted something different, and
Yeah.
I didn't realize it, but my body did.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the first place we ignore. Like in stressful times, it's always like eating a healthy meal is the last thing to go. We go straight to a drive-through, or
I
like
know.
our body's always the last one on the list.
Yeah, and it's scary, right? I mean, we know like the 9 to 5, like that's what we've been taught is like you get up, you go to work, you earn money, and we're not really ever shown any alternative.
Yeah.
Like, we grind to try and buy a house or pay rent or like, all this stuff, but you don't have to do that. And
Yeah.
it doesn't feel right.
Yeah. I love that. And then I love how your therapist getting the gold star on your sticker chart from your
I
therapist.
know.
Honestly, the best feeling in the world. It's like, oh my
I
God,
know.
he likes
I
me.
know. And like my therapist is wonderful, and I've been seeing her on and off for about 6 years now. And she is just, she kind of says to me at times, she's like, "Do you need to come back, or are you just doing this because you want to chat?" And most of the time it's just because I want to chat. But I've been, I guess I've graduated therapy several times, but then
Yeah.
gone back to her when I needed her. And I think that's the best feeling when you're in therapy. Yeah.
I think it's such a wonderful tool. Actually, a friend of mine who went to our school, and she was on the podcast recently, and yeah, she was just saying like one of my tips is go to therapy. Everyone should have therapy. But I think I agree with that statement because it's actually just nice to have someone with a completely like objective view on things as well, and just to
Totally.
have your own little space in the world. Similarly to you, mine, I've been fleeting in and out of it for since we knew each other, like since school. Like I've just been dipping in and out when a
Yeah.
life circumstances sort of happened, and it's quite beautiful because it's almost like they're still a part of your life, but I've worked on myself enough to know when it's time.
Yeah,
Right.
when you need to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel
Um,
that. I feel that deeply. But it's also really nice to know that they're there.
yeah.
They're like part of your journey, someone that you can just be completely unfiltered with that won't, you talk to your friends and they're great, your family, they're great, but they're ultimately always going to be like thinking about you and like their opinion and protecting you. Whereas my therapist has said some pretty like out there statements. She's like, and she just says them black and white.
Yeah.
And I'm like, true. Yeah, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. It's just another perspective, isn't it? That's like
Totally.
separate from someone who doesn't know your friends, doesn't know, well, they know our history, but I think it's a beautiful tool, and yeah, I'm loving at the moment how much I'm hearing people be like, I'm in therapy, and it's not embarrassing because when we were
Great.
growing up, I think the generation prior, it was quite shameful to
Yeah.
say that you're struggling. And I think that's
Yeah.
why our generation is a little bit fucked up.
Totally. And our parents, yeah, like our parents' generation, my parents have both never been to therapy. They could
Yeah.
probably do with going, but
Yeah.
it's just not something that they did or even thought about doing. They were just like, nope, and bottled it up. But yeah, I really love that about our generation. And I think it's only getting better. Like the younger generation are talking about mental health way more and having those conversations. Yeah.
Agree. Love it. And I would just like to quickly, before I ask you more about the what lights you up in the business side of things, I want to go back to the deep dark pit because um it's all well and good to say like that you mentioned going into nature and things like that, but what did you have or can you remember, was there a catalyst or a moment where you were like, okay, it's time to just start climbing the ladder out of it? Because I know when you're down there, it like there's nothing. I can't even explain it with sort of words. What my friend talked about it as this really beautiful moment that she had with her mum, where she's like not feeling her best and stuff, and her mum would just like poke her head through the door and be like, "Do you need a ladder today?" And she'd be like, "Not
Oh,
today." And then the mum would leave her alone, and then she'd be like, "Do you need a ladder today?" And she'd be like, "Yes, please." And then the mum would make her a cup of tea, or
I
do that.
love that.
But
That's
it's
so
like,
beautiful.
yeah. And so, do you have you mentioned you kind of like forced yourself to go out into nature and things like that, and that is the most one of the most beneficial things just in any life, even just to wind down from a working day. Like, and you know how they say like go touch some grass, like actually,
Mm.
it's so soothing to the soul. But yeah, did you have something? God, this question is taking a long time to
No,
get out, but do you
no,
know
no,
what I
I know
mean?
what you're trying to say. And I was just trying to think while you're going through that. I don't think there were any key moments where I was kind of like, okay, this is it. It was more just those little baby steps and those little changes. So for a while, there'd be like weeks where I just wouldn't leave the house. And I was just like, nah, like, no
Yeah.
point. Um, but then it was little things. So like every morning my partner would be like, okay, go take Vienna to the beach. She needs a walk and keep putting it in Vienna, my dog's like in her realm. So I'm like, okay, my dog needs a walk. I'm caring about her. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing that for her.
Yeah.
And, putting others before me and caring for them really helped me. And if I didn't have a dog through that, I think I'd be pretty fucked. Like, I don't think I would have come out of it as quickly as I did. Animals are amazing for mental health, and I've just learned so much from her.
Yeah. Oh, I want to talk about like the feeling of rescuing a dog, but oh no, it fell out of my butt, so I have to come back to it. I was gonna say how it's just it's interesting that if we have something outside of us, it's so much easier to get up and get moving, right? I had
Yeah,
that with in my postpartum time. I couldn't leave the house. I was actually quite crazy. Sometimes still am, debatable. But I could yeah, I couldn't leave the house. It was like actually I felt very stuck in all the things, and I know that's really normal. But I got to a point where I was like, okay, this is now sort of the detriment um of myself, and I need to sort of start doing this so that my baby can go out in the world as well. Like he'll be starting daycare and all of that kind of stuff. Like I'm now my anxiety is now affecting like my family essentially. So
yeah, yeah,
like I just randomly I remember it was one night I just randomly signed up to like Mums and Bubs yoga. I joined him for swimming lessons. Like, I just like went, it was a lot in one go, but I was
yeah,
like time I had nothing specific happened. It was just kind of this like my I guess my body was telling me like let's get a move on and let's start to get some things fixed with lots of little a class here and there and a walk here and there, try driving, um, and got to well now it's not as bad. It's still a little bit nerve-wracking, but it's not as bad. Um,
yeah. And you realize that anxiety is very internalized, right? Like
yeah,
it's you being worried about things, but other people might not see that. And by, I guess, caring for others, we move out of our anxiety and we put it into others. And so it's not internalized anymore. It's just you're getting out there.
yeah, I love
And
that.
yeah, and like with panic and panic attacks, obviously it's all really physical sensations. You feel it. And everyone, I like asking people, where do you feel your anxiety? Because everyone is so different. I might ask you, where do you feel your anxiety, Les?
I get it really badly in my throat, which is
Mm,
yeah, because I obviously this whole podcast practicing using my voice and things like that. I've
mm,
had the thing there, and also in the sacral driven and human design. So like in the pit of my stomach, I always
yeah,
get a really
yeah.
unsettled churning feeling.
Mm,
Um,
it's yucca.
yeah,
Ugh, mm,
it like
yeah,
ugh, that like feeling
yeah.
of dread that just washes
I
over
know. Yeah, it almost does wash over you. You feel it, and it's like
you.
like a full body dump of like adrenaline, and you're
Yes,
just like, ugh. And it's like our body's telling us to run from something, but the thing it's telling us to run from might be like,
going in the car.
call the, yeah, go for a drive, call your doctor, and make an appointment. It's so scary.
You know, it's
But
funny,
yeah.
eh?
Mm,
It's funny when you look at it from the outside in, but yeah, it's when you're there and in it, God, it can feel like you're
mm.
actually dying sometimes.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
hard.
And mine almost turned into a bit of what's called panic disorder, which is not talked about much, but rather than anxiety, it's more the fear of those feelings. So
Mm,
I was scared of those feelings and what they were doing to my body. And so I would avoid any situation that might make me have those
potentially.
feelings.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have to do like a lot of exposure therapy. Like, for example, this will sound silly to a lot of people, but I used to fly all the time, love flying. But one time I had a panic attack right before I got on a plane. And now it wasn't even about the flying, it was the feelings in my body. And now my body associates flying and being in planes or confined spaces where I can't escape as a threat.
Yeah.
And so I had to do like a lot of exposure therapy, like sitting in airports and like, getting myself ready to be able to fly again because my family are in Auckland. So to see them, I have to fly. So I have to be brave. So it's about facing those fears and being like, even though you feel those feelings, they're just sensations and they're not scary. Nothing bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's so hard.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. That is hard, and that doesn't sound silly at all. That's like anxiety inception. You're anxious about being anxious about.
Yeah, that's a good way of. I'm going to tell my therapist that. Be like, panic disorder is now called anxiety inception.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
way
no.
better term.
Well done. I'm really proud of you, and I'm really proud to hear that you've done what do you say, exposure therapy, and really
Yeah, yeah,
put yourself in the you've just fit
yeah,
like put yourself on purpose in an uncomfortable situation because you know objectively that it's for the better and that the anxiety kind of like the thoughts don't exist, but just
yeah,
big ups. That's a big deal.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I'm sure the walnuts listening will really resonate with this. So it doesn't sound silly at all. Oh, thank you for sharing. It's
It's
hard.
okay. It is hard, yeah. And I really just want to push that panic disorder thing is that it's quite different from generalized anxiety, which is horrible in itself. But panic disorder
Yeah,
is something quite different that not a lot of people know about, which is really just about those sensations and being scared of those sensations and scared for your body.
yeah,
So for anyone out there that had it, I feel you, and it is shit, but you will get through it.
yeah, definitely. I feel like I remember way back after the boys died, um, I started getting like anxious and things like that, and I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't train because the heart like
Mm,
when you're doing workouts, it
yeah,
reminded me of panic attacks. So I didn't actually go to the
mm,
gym and stuff for a while, which
yeah.
because I associated that. I wonder if it might have
Mm.
been like a little sub part of that in some ways. But yeah, anyway, that was
Yeah, probably. Like, I mean, hindsight is a wonderful thing, but probably, and you just
yeah,
didn't recognize what it was at the time. But
yeah,
like, shit, we went through some stuff, before we'd even finished high school. And like, look at you now. Like, you
no,
lost some really close people in your life at like way too young, and you've flourished. Like, you are smashing life.
yeah. We
Mm.
we're all getting there, aren't we? We're all
We
doing
are, we
things.
are. But the sad thing, and I'm not sure if you feel this, but that and this is going to quite a dark place, but that New Zealand has the highest youth suicide rates in the world. And
Mm.
we had a close friend die by suicide 3 weeks ago now at 17.
Oh,
And it just took me back to high school and
yeah.
like those feelings when you feel so helpless as a young person and like you don't know where to turn to and it makes me really mad. Like I
Mm.
don't know how to solve it, but that our little New Zealand is just losing so many wonderful young people.
Do you know, I was thinking about this in the shower last night, randomly. You know how
Mm,
thoughts come when you're in the shower with, completely vulnerable. But
mm,
I was thinking about how I can't remember where I heard it, maybe on like a podcast or something. No, yeah, no, it was a podcast. About directly asking someone if they are going to take their own lives.
mhm,
Like we're very well marketed and it's okay to not be okay and asking if people are okay, but asking a direct question like, are you thinking of killing yourself?
mm.
Like is quite powerful and that you know what I mean? Like and but
Yeah,
I was thinking about how if I were to ask someone that question, how nervous I would feel that maybe that had put an idea in their head and stuff like that. But this
yeah,
podcast went on to talk about how it wouldn't put an idea in the head. If anything, it would flag, anyway.
yeah. No, I
That was
get
just a
it. I
fleeting
get it.
thought that I
But
had.
then it's also we're not trained on what to do. So what if they said yes? Then like what do you do then? You
Yeah.
would go and get help from someone else. But I think it's fear in ourselves too that what if they do say yes? Then like what do we do? Then we suddenly like have this responsibility to jump in and do something and we're alone. And those are my thoughts
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah,
But
yeah.
really we're not
Heavy.
alone. Like there's always people that can help, but that feeling in
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is, yeah, it's a wider discussion and
Mm,
an angry making phenomenon, would you call it,
yeah.
that goes on. But yeah, that's where these conversations are really good to just have them.
Mm,
And like obviously being someone who has lived through that happening to a friend or and being a part of the what happens after and things like that,
Mm,
and then just talking about it, that this all makes a difference. You know what I
mm,
mean? Like,
yeah.
it is just so fucking sad and so hard.
Yeah, yeah. And the anger is an interesting emotion that I didn't think I'd feel. Like you expect to feel this deep grief and like not understanding, confusion and that. But the anger that comes out is really quite powerful, is that you don't know what you're angry at. You're angry at the world, you're angry at, I don't know, whoever out there, like you're just angry.
Yeah.
And it was an emotion that I never thought would come with grief, but yeah, it was quite powerful.
My therapist said when I was very, very young, hurt and anger go together. They're like two sides of a coin.
Yeah.
So they kind of like bleed into one. And yeah,
Mm.
kind of have remembered that for many, many years. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. These are really, really great topics, and I think we almost need to have like a part two deep dive on like
I know, I
going
know.
straight into that because
Yeah, we're
I feel like I could
going
talk about
way,
it.
way off topic, but good chat, important chats to have.
Yeah, I love it. I'm here for it, and I think it's really important. So thank you so much for sharing all your experience and insights on those things. But I wanted to go into rescue dogs, business, and the bubble up your butt, like let's go. But first of all, how rewarding does it feel to rescue a dog? Because
Oh,
Kevin, my
the
firstborn,
best.
is also a rescue, and there's a podcast episode on how fate brought us together. But um, it's so beautiful. It's
It
so beautiful to
is.
rescue a dog. It makes
Mm.
and it makes the bond so much more special. Eh?
Yeah, it really does. So Vienna was 1 year old when I rescued her, and she was a shelter dog, but like a council one. So they found her wandering the streets. They do the whole thing where they impound them and then list them on all the community pages to try and find their owners. No one comes forward, and then they're put into, I guess, up for adoption. So Vienna was in the pound for 3 months and no one wanted her. And I'm just like, how can no one want that face? But I have this thing in my head where I like believe that she was waiting for me.
Yeah.
So that's why she was in there for so long. And I went in and I remember they do like little Tinder bios for them, for the dogs in the shelter. And I remember reading that she's a pro at shaking paws. And when we first met, they put us in a paddock which had previously had baby goats in it. And so her nose was going crazy. She was ignoring me and she was just sniffing around for these baby goats. And then I remembered the paw shake thing. So I got a treat and I just said paw. And she came up and she looked at me and like took my hand and I gave her the treat and I was just like, no, she's gonna be mine. She's gonna be my dog. And that
You're my
was,
child.
yeah. So her name was already Vienna when I rescued her too. And that was almost a serendipitous thing because another friend we went to school with, Monique, her and I have always had this thing for the song Vienna by Billy Joel and just the meaning behind that song. And her name was Vienna. So it was perfect. It
Oh,
was almost like this big, like everything was right. So yeah, she's my best mate. She's been with me through a lot already. And she, ironically, she is a very anxious dog too. So she's my soul sister. We beat our anxiety together.
I love that. It's funny how the dogs replicate their their owners and stuff like
It
that. Like
does.
my sister's dog, my niece, Susie, is very much like my sister.
Yeah,
So
it's
many like
mad.
ways.
Yeah, yeah, it's great.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, similar feels and stories with my Kevin. Like
Yeah,
I feel the same. It's like you were meant to be. There's a soul contract in there somewhere. Like you were meant to be
totally.
my baby.
Yeah, yeah,
And I really like. I remember saying to people like, I feel like he came from my womb. That's how much I love him. Like this was before I had
yeah,
any womb things go on. But I was
yeah.
like, no, this is like unreal how tied we are on a
Yeah, and
like,
people
spiritual
that
level.
don't have dogs, have children, don't quite, or have human children, don't quite understand how you can have this weird bond with a dog, but you do. They are your child.
Yeah, it is. And in some ways, when you first get them, a little bit harder.
Yeah, I've actually heard that before with parents who have got a puppy for their kids are like, holy shit, this is harder than having a toddler, having a puppy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I heard the same about having young kids and stuff. Anyway, I'm about to experience that, so I don't want to jinx myself.
Yeah, I
Um,
know. Hopefully, Kevin's been doing lots of babysitting for you.
He is so he's very sweet. He's a really, really lovely big brother, and like especially when he was first born. But yeah, I just on dogs, I when my boy was born, I brought home, well, not I, my partner at the time brought home like the hat that was on his little newborn head so that Kevin could like smell it and stuff. So that's an actual thing
Aw,
that if you do have a pet and you're about to give birth is to like so that they can like familiarize themselves with
with
this,
the smell.
yeah,
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
um yeah, that's one thing I did hot tip all that if you're expecting a baby because I know that there are lots of pregnatos around at the moment. It's another season.
So many, so many. I mean, my fur child's enough for now, but maybe one day, you never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. And it will happen when it needs to and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
So, I was going to ask what the how the name of your business came about, but now I know that it's
yeah, it
your
is.
baby's
Yeah.
name.
It is, but the kind of, oh my God, she's licking her butt in the background, so excuse her. But it was kind of like, so the Vienna part was there, but the Oh Vienna came about because she's a mud monster and she's disgusting. She will go for anything stinky, anything muddy, she's there. And the number of collars that I went through, and I just remember being like, oh, Vienna, like that sort of thing when she like destroyed another collar. And so I was like, perfect. It's now like an Oh Vienna, like it just flowed nicely.
I love
So
that.
yeah,
I
there it
love
is.
that. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Love that. And so I want, oh, how do we talk about even starting a business, even though I know we're like almost out of time? So what you started it because it was a need for you, which I
Yeah.
think is amazing. That's the best way to start sort of anything because then you can
Mhm.
say like it's literally it's from the heart and you can tell
Yeah.
that it like lights you up. But tell me about business. Like because I know it's not as simple as going, I'm just going to start making collars. Like I know from your website, which is immaculate and gorgeous,
Yeah.
and your Instagram is amazing as well. Um, it's not as simple as just being like, I'm gonna find a collar and make it. Like I can see that you've done heaps of research. I imagine, actually, I'll let you talk. That's my question.
Yeah. So I'm very fortunate that my partner is an engineer, and so he has the technical side of things. So I was able to go, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, make it, magic it into life. And so he kind of worked out the intricacies of it. And but trying to relay that to a manufacturer to create was a real challenge because there's a traditional dog collar, and when you're trying to break from that mold and create something brand new, you need to find a manufacturer that's going to get on board and not get pissed off at you for asking to change things 50 million times. And no, that's not right. I want it like this. So I didn't realize quite how expensive and time consuming that whole like research and development phase was and getting the product right before we even went into production. And I mean, I had a little bit of money, but not, I wasn't rolling in it. And I didn't realize quite how huge the minimum order quantities are when you first order product from overseas. A lot of it I still assemble myself in New Zealand, but still like these manufacturers are used to producing orders for like massive brands where they're doing like hundreds and thousands, and then there's me being like, can I please have 100? And they're like, no. So having that was super scary because before I'd even sold a single collar, I had to commit to thousands of units of this product and going, oh my God, what if everyone hates it? What if no one buys it? And that self-doubt you have where you're like, am I doing the right thing? So I just kind of had to go, like just do it. And then you wait because of course you've got to wait for the whole them to make it and then them to actually ship it to New Zealand. And that's a mission in itself. Like no one tells you how hard it is to start importing product into the country with all the rules behind that, and that my collars got stuck at customs, and I had to push out my launch because it was right before Christmas. And I won't go into that too much, but there's just all the little things that you just have no idea about when you go into that. No one teaches you that.
Yeah. Oh wow. Oh my gosh. So these collars from Oh Vienna are literally every single one is touched by you and done fiddled
It
with
is.
by you at home and then sent out.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So I get the parts sent to me, but every collar it's our design. I wish I had one right beside me. Oh, I do. So for people watching this on video, our collars are like they don't have a traditional tri-glide adjustment to tighten the collar. They're tightened using these little screws. So every single screw I will screw in for you. I put a special little solution on it to stop them coming loose. So yeah, everything is touched by me. I write a little handwritten note and
Love that.
everything because I want to be close to my customers, and I'm already building such a cool little community. And that's my favorite part is just the people and chatting to the other dog mums and feeling their pain and feeling like celebrating their happy moments. That is my favorite part.
Yeah. And your customers are dogs. So, and you said that you love
Yeah.
dogs. So it's like amazing.
Number of dog Instagram accounts, like, whoa, like it's opened a whole new world to me of these dog parents who are just like love their dogs that much that they've created a whole dog account for them and they have like hundreds of thousands of followers. So it's like, oh, wow. But people love dogs. It just shows the amount of love they put into their dogs.
They really are. They're such a wonderful creature. I actually don't when people say if someone says to me, "Oh, I don't like dogs," or they're like afraid of dogs, it's different if they like got bitten or something. But like
Yeah,
I immediately have like an orange flag and don't 100% trust someone who says they don't like dogs for not a
I
valid
know.
reason.
Yeah. And if my dog doesn't like someone, that's another thing. I'm like, oh, why do you not like them? A funny like little side story there. My first date with my now partner, I bought Vienna because we went for a little coffee and dog walk, and Vienna never does this, but she jumped onto his knee on
Oh,
our date. So she
she
sat
reckon
on my man's knee before I did.
he
She
passed.
chose him.
He passed the test.
So
Oh,
that was super
so
cute.
nice. I love that she was like looking after her mum and being like, "It's all good, mum. Pick him."
Yeah, you got this.
Oh, so lovely. Oh, I have more. I have more I want to ask Kat, but I think that maybe we'll come on for a part two about
Yeah,
the
totally. I
colors
mean,
and the actual
yeah,
product and stuff like that
yeah,
because I think there's so much more that goes into it and I do want to hear the story of the customs at Christmas. Like I want to hear all about all of those things. But I think we have covered quite a wide range of really important stuff, really cool stuff as well. Um, is there anything left on your heart that you actually, in relation to starting a business and feeling like a butthole, but then getting the spark back and getting a bubble up your butt, for a walnut listening who feels a little bit stuck, have you got any advice or anything you want to share on that front? Because you said you were like, I had to just do it."
yeah. It
Yeah.
feels uncomfortable and it feels yuck, but just push through that discomfort. Do one little step at a time, even if it's not going full blown like I did, but you might like have a little stall at like a market and start like super small like that, or just selling it on Facebook or something. You don't have to go full in with website, but just do it because it will really light you up. Even
Yeah.
if you start it alongside your current job or, whatever. It just do tiny little baby steps.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the baby steps. I
Yeah.
agree. That's awesome. It's nice to have sort of like tangible advice. So thanks, Kat. Is there anything on in relation to all of the topics, not just starting a business that we've touched on today? Is there anything left on your heart that you feel really imperative needs to be shared or mentioned before I ask you the token question?
Yeah, I think really that you're never alone, never, ever, ever. And there's always someone that's going through something similar. There's always someone who gets it. So don't internalize because you're, God, Vienna, shush. Vienna's trying to steal my moment. So just talk to someone. Like it doesn't matter who it is, it could be anyone. And be kind to people because you never know what they're going through. Always give them a smile.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Where can the Walnuts listening find you, snoop you, buy a collar for themselves?
They would love it. Yeah, themselves, their dog, whatever, you know. Um,
Yeah, oh, yeah, sorry. Thank you. Thank you. You know what I mean, Walnut. Oh, you probably know.
um, you can find me on my website, ovienna.co.nz, or on Instagram, um, oviennanz as well. So probably a few underscores in that. But if you search Ovienna, you'll find me.
Love it. And Walnut, I will put the links in the show notes so that you can hop straight on. Token question, Kat, my dear old friend, not old as an age, as in for a long time. Um, what does being a walnut mean to you?
Oh, a token question. I think being a walnut means be feeling discomfort and doing it anyway. So being brave, even when it feels a little bit uncomfortable inside, just do something small and put one foot in front of the other, and eventually it will all work out because it always does.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so, thank you so very much. I'm a very visual person, so when you were saying that, I was like imagining like little footprints and like I was imagining nature just from your story. Yeah, anyway. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you very, very
Oh,
much. Um, so Kat, action point for us. We need to book in a round two because
yeah,
I want to ask you more things about business. Um, but thank you so much. Thank you so much for visiting Walnut Wednesday. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy to like see you doing life and doing all the things on the internet and so pleased that we got to have this chat after so long. It's been such a pleasure. It's been awesome.
yeah. Thank you. I've loved chatting, and sorry it was a bit long, but yes, we will definitely do a follow up.
Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, and Walnut, if you like this episode, take a little screeny shot, tag us on the Instagrams, check out Kat's page, do all the things. But thank you so much, Walnut, for being here and for listening and for donating your time to us. Yeah, some really, really important, great things being said on this episode. So if you resonate, please feel free to reach out to, I speak for you, Kat, as well. Reach out to us if you need anything, and we'll be on the other end. So have a happy Walnut Wednesday. I will talk to you when I talk to you on a Walnut Wednesday. I'm practicing not doing weekly episodes now, so it's not next week, but it will be a Wednesday. And Kat, thank you so very much. You're so beautiful, you're delicious, you're amazing, and I will talk to you on the internet as well.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.